Hello everyone, welcome back to Python tutorials by Code Warriors. So in the previous videos, we've covered a lot of stuff. Like we've talked about data types, all kinds of. Then we talked about operations like for loops, while loops, all kinds of loops we've covered. Then we covered one very important topic, functions. There's like a whole programming concept on it, function programming, or you can say procedural programming. The most of the things that we were doing here were either the basics of any kind of a programming structure or the procedural programming system, like where we create functions. We whatever we want to do the task, we divide it into small functions and we work through them and completes our program, solve our problem. But today we are going to talk about something more different than what we were talking about previously we were talking about procedural programming. Now today we are going to start object oriented programming. Now there's a word object in there, object oriented programming. The three words define what are we going to talk about. Those three words mean something. This programming is basically oriented on the objects. Not means now the whatever the concepts we are going to talk about are basically revolves around the objects. So what are objects? I mean, if you go through our previous videos, you see we've talked about object. We have used this word a lot, objects. Like with the when we're talking about data types, we've used objects. Like though we talked about these lists, these integers, string. These are all objects we talked about, but we never discussed in detail about them. Okay, so today we will talk about them in detail. We will talk about what is object-oriented programming, why do we need it, why are we not preferring procedural programming language, why we are giving more importance to object-oriented programming. Today we will discuss this. Okay, so let's open our notepad so that we can, Spider ID, that's our notepad only, so that I can write things out, I can explain you much better way. Okay, so let's go to Spider. Okay, so here we are. This is giving me a update. Let's move it right now. Okay, so object-oriented programming. In short, we can say OOP. Now, object-oriented programming is basically used for creating, okay. What we do in the programming when we write a program, what we basically do, what our ultimate goal is. Our ultimate goal is to create some kind of a real-world problem that we are facing. We make a program to sort it out. Like in basic terms, if we talk about, we want to make a calculator. Okay, so we want a calculator. It's a real world problem. Everyone needs a calculator to solve big problems. What we did, we make a program to make a calculator. Same way, programming is basically used for solving these real world problems. Now, when we talk about real world, then we see everything is in real world. Everything is an object, right? This laptop, my laptop in which I'm working right now is an object. Okay, headphones I'm using is an object. My phone is an object. Okay, you are studying, you are watching it on something, that is an object. Everything is an object around us. So the those scientists, those developers bring out this concept that if everything is an object, why not create some kind of a structured programming language in which the whole programming language revolves around an object and makes it more simpler to deal with, and can all those complex problems be solved so easily. That's why this OOP came. So now the thing comes, why are we not choosing, why are we not sticking with only functional? I mean, you can create all these real world entities, you can talk about real world entities with a functional programming language also. Let me give you an example for it. Okay, suppose you want to create a program of a colony. You're creating a colony where you have lots of buildings inside of a colony. There's a park, people, car parking, cars, all these kind of things. You have to create a colony with a programming. So when you are doing it with a functional programming language, what are you gonna do? You're gonna basically create a function to with the name of a colony. Then you're gonna create more functions inside of it, defining all these kind of things like buildings, cars, and all. You're gonna then there will be functions inside of function, and it will become lots of complicated, lots of confused, system like to work out with. But when we go through object-oriented programming, what happens is we see there is this colony name. We first create a blueprint of the colony. Okay, so basically the what we do here is we first of all create the blueprint of the colony. Then we see everything in the colony as an object, like all those buildings there are, those are all separate objects. Then every object has its own there every object consists of two things. One, its attributes. Second, its behavior. Now, what are attributes? Attributes are its properties, you can say, like what is the height of the building, how many floors are there in the building, what is this building made up of. Those are its attributes. Means you can say a data about a building. Then second comes in the behavior. What is the purpose of that building? Is that building is meant to live? Is that building is meant to have a party? It's a party place, or is this building is meant for some other purpose? That's a behavior of the building. What that building does. So we create all these behaviors and attributes. Now, attributes are basically the data that we define attribute with the data we provide to the building, like in terms of integer or strings. Like if we talk about the height of the building, it will be an integer. If we talk about the what building is made up of, then that will be a string or maybe a list of lots of strings. But when we talk about the behavior of a building, then we call them methods. Like we create methods. Now the question is, what are methods, right? Okay, methods is nothing. Nothing. Methods are really nothing. You can say whatever we are talking about previously, functions. When we come to object-oriented programming, the name of the function changes to methods, and one extra thing is added inside of it to make it different from a function. So that I will tell you when I will be talking about methods in deep with practical. Okay, but right now you can understand methods is a function. Okay, nothing else. It's a function inside of that blueprint of a class. You can say class is the blueprint of the object-oriented programming, or whatever we are making is a blueprint of that, and method is a function inside of that class. So what we do, we create method, we define these behaviors with the help of the methods. Okay, so now let me give you an example. Let's say to create a blueprint of the colony, like let's say some kind of a colony. We say this colony is Indraprastha. Okay, we named this colony. So what we did, we created a class. To create a class. Class is the blueprint of that whatever we are going to make, whatever we are going to define is a blueprint of that thing. So class, and what we said, Indraprastha. So Indraprastha is the name. Okay. Okay. Let's type mistake. Right? Yes. So we have created a class blueprint. Okay, we created our blueprint in the Indraprastha. Now we're gonna talk about those buildings and their behavior. So when we are talking about behaviors, we said behaviors are the methods of a of that colony, of that class. Then to define methods, we know methods are functions. So what we have to do, we have to create a function. Simple. Let's make a function. Now what are we going to do inside of function? We will create like buildings. Building. Okay. Now this is a function, and let me write it. Okay, this is a self keyword inside of a function. We will talk in detail about it. Right now, leave it. Okay, think of it. It doesn't even exist over there right now. Take it as a simple function. Don't bother about it. We will discuss it in detail later. Right now, I'm just giving you an introduction about what is all of this. Okay, so we created made a building. Now this is a method of the building. Like, let's print it out something. Now this is let's say a restaurant. Okay. Now we have defined a building. We have created a behavior of that building. That building is meant for a restaurant. Now let's pass out some, attributes or data to that method, to that object. So what are the data we're gonna give it. We're gonna say this is let's say we pass out height. Okay, height of that building. Okay, floors. We're gonna pass out two things for the building. Now we have created it. Now it's time to. Now this is the blueprint of our, you know, of that colony. Right now there is this one building inside of this Indraprastha colony, and we have passed out two properties of that building, that is height and floor. Right? Our blueprint of that colony is complete. Now we came out of the blueprint. Now we create an object to read that blueprint, to understand what are we going to do with that blueprint. Now let's create an object. Now mostly what we do, we've talked about in previous videos what are objects. Like when we write x is equal to 5 and we run it, this is an we created an object, the name x. X is a variable and works as an object, right? Integer object. Now on to understand it more clearly, let's print out type. Print type of x, and let's see F9, and you hear and see in the output screen it says class int, class integer. And if you notice in our program, we are creating something of that called class, right? Now these are all the integer, string, list, these are all inbuilt data types, inbuilt objects. Sorry. These are all inbuilt objects, but object-oriented programming gives us an opportunity to create our own objects the way we want. So let's create our own object. So let's say obj1, our first object. Okay, we have created an object right now, but if we run it, let's see what happens. Oh, it says obj1 is not defined. Same way, if we say x, let's write here, let's say y, and let's run it. Y is not defined here because we have not given any value to the y. What is y? We don't know yet. When we give it 5, it says nothing because now y becomes an integer. If we say 5.5, now object of y is changed. Now y is a float object. Same way here, obj1. Right now it is nothing. There is no object we have defined inside of it. But if we want to tell what it is, we want to tell our interpreter what this is, what kind of an object this is, and we have to write it. We have to say Indraprastha, right? Because we have created a blueprint of that Indraprastha, right? So we are gonna create an object with the name Indraprastha, with the name obj1, which is containing, you can say the value, or you can say the blueprint of that class. And when we run it, okay, wait, there is a spelling mistake out here. Okay, we haven't run this class, right? Run, and now if we run it, now you see, and in the variable section you can see here, obj1 is created in the Indraprastha object of main module. Now if we type print, and let's know the type of it, obj1, we created this object, right? Let's find out the type of it, F9, and you see here again class of Indraprastha. Now we have created an object for Indraprastha. Okay, earlier we had an object for floating point number, for integer, for everything. Now we have created our own object for Indraprastha, and as it says main over here, each is our made by us. Now this main thing we'll discuss in the module section. Just leave it out right over here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so when we talked about this print type x, it tells us that it was an integer of class integer. Now here it says class Indraprastha, this object. So this is how we create our own objects. Okay, so now if we wanna find out this what is the height of the building, or what is the let's pass out these values over here. Let's find out the properties of what is inside of that blueprint, what is inside of that So now, okay, let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Now, when we used to create a list, let's create a list. You can understand it much easily. Okay, let's say create a list. Okay, we've created this list. Let's run it. We've created this list, and then when we do, okay, let's give it some other variable, otherwise it might conflict. Right now, if we write list underscore one dot. Now you see there are lots of functions. Now here it is functions because we are right now not an object oriented and basic programming. So it says here these are lots of functions inside of it, right? This list one is an object and it has lots of functions. But when we are in a object oriented programming, those functions convert into methods. So in list one, let's say if we say index and create brackets, okay, and we give it some parameters, some kind of a data, whatever the index method accepts, we pass out those data inside of it, and it gives us the value. It gives us whatever the index or whatever that function does, whatever that function defines basically. Now we have an object. We have an object obj underscore one. Now we wanna give it some kind of a function. Now you see, I press the dot over here and it gave me a function named building. Now you see here, we have created a blueprint. We have made our own function building over here, which is a method. When we are talking about an OP, we create our own method over here. We have given it some parameters, okay? And when we here press dot, it gives us that building and it's a function. We click on it, okay? Now let's see if it shows the documentation of it. I hardly think it will show the documentation of it. But still, let's see. Okay, no documentation because it is our own inbuilt objects and the documentation is available only for the things that comes with the software. Okay, so we have created our own building. Now if we run this much only, let's see what happens. Now it says building missing 2 required positional arguments, height and a close. And if you see over here, we are writing 3 parameters inside of 3 words. I will not call parameters, 3 words inside of this, but it is only talking about 2. Okay, we will discuss self later. This is only introduction to what is object oriented programming, so I'm not going to discuss it right now. Otherwise, you will get a lot confused. So let's pass out 2 parameters. Let's say height of the building is 100 meters, and the floor is, let's say it has 10 floors. And now run it. Now it prints out it's a restaurant. You see, now this is the complete way of working with object oriented programming, in which we get an opportunity to create our own objects, our own methods. And if you deep dive into the programming language, any programming language, basically Java, C++, C Sharp, you will see, or Python, any programming that follows object oriented programming concept, you will see all these integers, how this integer is working, how the strings are working, how any function is working, how we created this index. The working of this index is defined in some kind of a header file, and that header file is made up of this object oriented method, object oriented structure. In that they would have created class index. They would have created with some kind of a name of a class. Then in that they created a method with a name index and given its properties, whatever the properties it is, what are the parameters it is going to take. Then it would have defined the behavior, means what is the output it is going to give, what it is going to tell about itself, like what it does. So this is all about object oriented programming. In the next video we will talk about this self function over here. We will deep dive into what are attributes, what are methods. Then there are lots of things in object oriented programming like inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction. We'll talk all about that in our next videos. So okay, see you in the next video.